NA and EU, but we'll see what happens here.
All right, well, let's introduce our teams here. We've got 4 XTRMST, QZ on the Razor, Bane heading top, played by Oheb, Siki on the Quap, Mad's going to be playing the Visage, and meanwhile we've got God on that new Faceless Void. How about that Dire? All right, well that's not, no I'm just kidding. WuJie, we've got the Tusk played by X Nova, a couple heroes hiding in the side secret shop, and Jay's going to be on the Abaddon. Johnny playing the Jakiro, Aj on the Lycan, showing that wolves need no armor. And finally, we've got Kang playing the Juggernaut. Already starting off with a lot of tangos, 5 tangos. One of them is shared.
I think he's going mid.
He's going mid. He
I'm
does have that
pretty
PMS.
positive he's going mid. Yeah, the PMS pickup right away is pretty obvious for that. I'm very positive, just because obviously you have the Lycan player kind of started the Quelling Blade ROP, so I'm pretty positive he's going mid versus the Quap. I honestly, like, if he gets like early boots, early bottle, he'll be pretty good in lane. If you actually watched BTS a little while ago, they had, I think it was Cap versus Blitz. Or Cap versus Merlini or something like that. And no, it was Merlini, and Merlini crushed Cap's Zeus with Juggernaut because the hero is pretty good with spin. Like it's a good nuke if they push up to the lane too far. Oh, and we have a DC already.
What is Dota without the DCs and the pauses? We already have a Rage Crit coming out from the Juggernaut. I guess he doesn't like the draft too much.
Yeah, I also hate the Quap starting build. The 2 iron branches. Nah, not a good build.
You don't like Happy Trees?
No, I don't. I think the build to go now is you still get your 2 pool tangos, but you got to get that Fairy Fire, man. The clutch plays, like you can do some pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, we have seen some Fairy Fires being used pretty well so far in the qualifiers.
Yeah, if you actually IX Mike's team in the NA qualifiers, their mid players like really good, and I think Beyond's on that team as well, and their mid player's done some pretty clutch plays. You know, you're getting ganked mid. Honestly, that 75 HP is really clutch. It's an auto attacker too. If you even get an uphill miss, you can survive a gank, or you can even turn a gank. So.
All right, with that being said, we're going to get into our match here. High ground place. We're being placed down by the Queen of Pain. So we're going to get right into our matchups here. Tusk hanging out in his own trees, hiding out from his own creeps. Going to pull them over to the side with that Ice Shards. We've seen some pretty cool plays with the Ice Shards so far from the Tusk, from the Ancients pool to blocking the creeps here.
Yeah, they just, I think Valve just patched out the Ancients pull, so it's a pretty good pull. Like, you got 2 creeps aside there, they're going to push the lane back. I don't think they really expected the aggro try, but the Visage is pretty obvious with that, so.
Well, in any case, the Lycan going to be bottom, heading up against that, the Faceless Void, and now there's already a lot of damage going on to Age God. He's going to take some of that off with the Time Walk, but you can't take away all that damage. And now here comes the Bane and the Visage quickly rotating over to help out the Faceless Void.
It was a pretty decent dodge of the aggro try, and you can see they're already running the duels, and they're going to swap the Abaddon as well in a second, so I think it's a pretty decent. They wasted the rotation, and XTRMST is kind of out for a little bit. They're going to go try to roam maybe. And you can actually see that the Jug is actually completely dominating the Quap, which shouldn't happen. 4-4 versus the 2-4, which is a real issue.
Indeed, doing pretty well early right there. And we also have the Faceless Void with the lead in CS as well.
Yeah, look at Jug. Like, he almost has his bottle. That's a real issue compared. Like, they're going to get at an even rate, and he didn't get crushed in lane. I think he's honestly going to start dominating the lane. And you see Quap's build, she didn't go Shadow Strike versus him. Like, and this is what's gonna happen is if Quap pushes up without boots, she's gonna just get spinned down. I think it's just kind of like a skill-based matchup. Like, I don't think the players ever played against up against the Jug mid, so she's just gonna get crushed.
Abaddon getting harassed a bit in the top lane. Going to get nightmared up by the Bane. And now here comes the Link. Definitely a good tool here. Abaddon going to use the aphotic shield, but is it going to be enough? Razor goes underneath the tower. That's a first blood for your Razor. Going to secure it there.
Yeah, it was a good kill. Good rotation from mid. So. And of course, you have that 6.86 jungle Lycan right now, right?
Well, he doesn't have the Iron Talon yet. So okay,
Oh,
there it is. On cue, there it is. All right.
Reddit, my pubs, please.
We do see the synergy between the Razor and the Bane with the static link going through that nightmare.
Yeah, it's almost like the Bane Tiny. Basically, it's still an OP combo.
Faceless Void having a difficult time here up against the Jakir. The Liquid Fire just takes him down quite a bit, and it's difficult to get that health back.
Yeah, it's not too bad, but if you do compare him to the Abaddon, I mean, like, he's sitting at 13-4. Abaddon has 2 CS right now, and he died once in lane. Like, he's kind of crushed, so I think Void's gonna walk up pretty happy, and he gets the full camp right now, so he's gonna need a little bit more experience.
You using Crush so much kind of triggers me a little bit. Too many Slardars in my games.
Yeah, I've noticed that all the C Dota, it drives me nuts. Like, they pick Razor and Viper and Quap and they lose the early game, and it kind of drives me nuts.
Well,
and it is a jungle Lycan with Iron Talons.
Yeah, with Iron Talon.
I can't believe that's happening.
On my client, Visage does not have a head, and he's just floating around here.
No.
Trying to find some room here. Abaddon staying pretty safe on the top lane.
Honestly, considering the lineup, I mean, it's 4 minutes in. There's only been 1 kill with Radiant's lineup literally being a very, very early powerhouse. So I'm pretty surprised at this point. I think Dire's a little happy with what's going, even though the net worth is, I mean, it's not much ahead, but it's still quite a lot. It's going to probably hit 1,000 soon. For like 4 minutes in the game. I'm just really afraid that what's going to happen is Dire's going to make a clutch mistake and they're going to lose a tier 1 and get deathballed.
Alright, well, Kang getting pretty far in on that Queen of Pain, and now here comes the Visage and the Bane. They're going to slow down the Juggernaut. Soul Assumption comes through. The healing word goes down as well as Queen of Pain screams at the Juggernaut for the kill. Juggernaut almost at that level 6. Didn't have the Omni Slash just yet there.
No, that's really good. The Queen really needed that to get some dominance back. Like, she was not doing good in that lane. And she's getting her bottle and boots crowd out again, so that's really good.
H-God looking for some hits here onto the Jakiro, using the time dilation so that the Jakiro doesn't have the Liquid Fire for a while. Pretty good usage there. And meanwhile, Visage and the Bane looking for the Lycan in the jungle. Gonna use the Nightmare. And here comes the Brain Stab. Queen of Pain comes in, and the Sonic Wave will be used to finish off that Lycan. Now the Tusk taking a lot of damage. He could be in trouble. There's a nice snowball going on to the Queen of Pain. They go for her. Will take her down. And now the Abaddon uses the salve, will survive, and now the Juggernaut also finds a kill. Visage in the wrong part of the map here. Gonna get slowed down by the Jakiro. Liquid Fire in the back. Abaddon finishes it off with the Miscoil. Abaddon stays alive there. Nice usage of the salve.
See, like, oh, that honestly is pretty decent for Radiant if they didn't commit that far. But I mean, see Dodo, it's 6 minutes in and they're past tier 2s right now. So,
I mean, you gotta get the secret shop. You just gotta do it.
Absolutely. They needed to do that though. Like, it's ridiculous that, like, they honestly did need to punish that, but it just didn't go all in their favor. Like, jungle Lycan, this shouldn't be happening in a high tier game there, and they did the right thing. It's just they overcommitted there. And Quap weren't Bracer for some reason instead of Stick, so I don't know. I don't know what's going on in this game.
Who knows? I think that's part of it.
I find these games so interesting to watch because I just pick up things like, I'm like, really? Did you go that? Like, is that good? Like, maybe I'll learn something.
You will probably not be the only one. Johnny just hanging out in that bottom lane, putting the harass onto H-God, who does have that Chronosphere and a lot of Fairy Fires. Lycan rotates over. Gonna take some of those creeps. Only level 5 right now. And Tusk will also join the party on that bottom lane. Here comes the Ice Shard. It's going to catch out the Bane. The Wolves will find him. And Bane in some trouble. Going to Nightmare himself. Could go onto the Wolves. Wolves having a Nightmare here as the Bane, well, he's having one of his own. Faceless Void gets a 3-man Chrono. Tusk just waiting for it. Here comes the Snowball. Going to hit H-God. In the end, the Abaddon does go down. Now the Visage in trouble. And here comes the Queen of Pain in from the side with a Scream. She could be in the wrong place as well. She doesn't have the blink back up. In the end, she does go down. Visage gets out. The Queen of Pain goes down. And isn't it even worth it? Not just yet. Juggernaut underneath the tower with the healing ward. H-God, he needs to get out now. Does get out. Kang, though, he's getting the damage stolen by the Razor. Trying to spin away, but one more hit. Okay, there's some healing being done. And now Lycan comes in from the side. Snowball going to finish off the Razor with Abaddon getting the kill there. And now Bane. XTRMST just getting too far into these fights, and they really want to do something. Bane's Brain Sap not even going to happen by the Bane. And now Visage also could be one to go down. On the backside, Queen of Pain gets a Sonic Wave for a double kill. And will they get this Visage? Mistclaw going to finish off the kill. So, in the end, it's a bit hard to find out exactly what went down there.
Yeah, and like you just said, giant overcommittal from Radiant there, and like the Queen made a really big mistake. Is like, if you're in your pubs, like you don't blink into 4 heroes. You can't blink out. Like you got to stay back. And I play a lot of Queen, and I used to be like that. Like, oh, you blink in, but you're gonna get like followed up by everything Dire has. And it looks like Radiant actually lost their lead from that a little bit. Like they got a little bit more back after the stream kill, but like it's a major mistake happening there.
What happened when Pretty Boy threw the game as an anti-mage? Find out next time on Adventures in the 2K bracket.
2K bracket? Come on, you gotta give me an extra
2.5K. Alright.
2.5K? You gotta give me an extra 3K MMR on that, dog.
Juggernaut uses the Omni Slash onto the Queen of Pain, who blinks to the north. Gonna get hit by those Ice Shards, and the Snowball not available now for the Tusk, so she will get away. First Omni Slash gonna be wasted by the Juggernaut, and now H-God trying to find something on the back of that. Tusk goes over to the creeps, has a TP out in a couple seconds. They're not going to find him just yet. He uses the Ice Shards to block himself out, and he will TP out. Yep, not going to find him
close. There. Not going to commit Chrono into that. And you can see Dire's going to take the bottom tower. That's what's going to happen is like, I mean, the Lycan doesn't have much, but like he has his levels. He has his ult now. Shapeshift can chase down people pretty well, and I feel like with Radiant's lineup, I mean, the Queen's going to get blink away, and she's still going to get crushed by the Lycan there. And they're just going to start 5-manning towers. You can see he has 3 points in Death Ward, no points in 3 points in Healing Ward, no points in Crit. So they're just going to start 5-manning down towers whenever they can. So I think it's going to, unless Radiant can kind of hold a good defense, they're going to lose all their outers really soon.
All right, well that is the Death of Balu coming down that bottom lane from the Dire. They are forced to back up as that Faceless Void's still pretty scary. Could get a nice Chronosphere off. And
no balls from Dire, no DD into Roche. I would have done that.
Alright, well Pretty Boy not playing today. Unfortunately has to observe.
Yeah,
and
unfortunately.
the push goes in on that mid lane. Trying to get some map control before they decide to go in on that. And the Radiant, they're smoked up, trying to do something. H-God, he's ready with the Chronosphere. Blink Scream onto Johnny. Johnny puts down the Macropire, and now the Chronosphere onto Abaddon, just going to walk right into it. And QC get caught on the backside. Juggernaut spinning around. He will take the kill on the Razor. However, he goes down. Snowball in by the Tusk. He's going to get Aphotic Shield up. Lycan, he's taking a Nightmare. And the Soul Assumption onto J-Nova, going to get saved by that Mistclaw. But in the end, he does go down to the Queen of Pain. And the Lycan will get out. Abaddon, not as lucky. Killing spree for Shiki, and well, it's a 4-for-1.
No, that was an amazing turn by Radiant. That early game double null tally bracer treads lineup proving to be very tanky on that Quap.
There's also a pretty good Chronosphere by the Faceless Void, which the Abaddon decided to walk into for some reason.
Yeah, I noticed that as well. I think they're really taking off guard. Actually, that Chrono is like real good. It was like a universe level. It split up the fight in 2, and the backline couldn't really jump in. The Jug was kind of screwed after his spin ended. He just got crushed. So not enough mana for. Did he get his ult off? No, he didn't. So not enough mana for the ult either. I think he's gonna go drums if they're going with this early game push here. So.
Well, the Dire return to that mid lane. They get back to the scene of the crime, and, well, so do the Radiants. So we got what could have been a Mexican standoff, and eventually it could be. But the Radiant just going to hang out. So do the Dire. This is what they call the high-level Mexican standoff. A little bit of farming going on at the same time.
Everyone's going up. I think Dire's waiting for their item timings right now, so the Lycan's probably crawling on his Vlads right now. That's correct. And I think they're going to go for the I'm assuming they're going to try to go for a mech on the Abaddon, and Jakiro already has the urn up for the push to wait for the drums on Kang there, and I think they're going to go for another push just when they get a little bit more farm. They're not too much farther away. The mech is going to be really late, it looks like, though. Only 475 gold on the Abba, and he has nothing compared to H-God on the Faceless, who's already sitting at 800 gold treads. Maybe goes Blink for the initiation. I'm not sure what his build's going to be. But Dire's sneaking the Roche, so super good right now.
Yep, immediately with that Vlads, they smoke up and take Lycan into the Roshan pit. And the Radiant have no clue about it at all. Not scouting it out just yet. And we'll just kind of sit here. Razor takes a hit. We're going to get denied, and now the Razor caught out with the Ice Shards. He's a bit out of position. The spin comes in for the Juggernaut. He's doing a lot of damage. Razor almost goes down, but Juggernaut has to back up. And a couple heroes here. Johnny could go down, does go down to the Faceless Void outside the Roshan pit. And can the Dire do anything about it? Lycan, Balls of Steel, just staying in the pit.
I mean, if you don't notice that they have no vision around the Roche pit, which is just really interesting because they do have the Lycan. Lycan hasn't shown on the map, and yeah, he could be in the jungle, but they do have one Radiant Ward in the jungle. You can usually see like a rotation path through there. So they're just going to get away with this Roche. It's going to be a really good push.
Lycan takes the Aegis, and the big man falls.
And Kang's almost at his drums there too, so they're going to try to hit that timing without the mech. I honestly, the mech's going to come super late, and it's probably going to have to come from Tower Gold. So
first big item from the club going to be an Aghanim Scepter. And that's something we've seen pretty common. Other times it is probably going to be the Yule Scepter. That seems to be the other item bought up most on the Queen of Pain. And a couple of birds. Going to drop onto the Juggernaut here. 14, almost 15 minutes into the game. Let's take a quick look at our XP and gold graphs. 1,000 for XP in favor of XTRMST. And gold, about 2,000 more the same. And
yeah, I think when another fight breaks out, Radiant's going to crush pretty hard. They got the mech done on Razor, and there's still no sight of a mech on Dire. So if they take a good engagement, even with Aegis, they should be able to turn it around.
Juggernaut gonna get stunned out by the birds here in the mid lane. He's gonna get linked up by the Razor. Nice Ice Shards to block out the heroes from that high ground. And there is a backstab smoke coming in from the Jakiro, Lycan, and the Abaddon. The Shapeshift's gonna get used. Here they come in from the backside. They're going right for H-God. H-God breaks the smoke, and they're going to go for the Bane. The Lycan takes the Nightmare off, but the Bane in trouble. Here comes the Macropyre in the side. Johnny takes a lot of damage. Omni Slash onto the Razor will take him down. Double kill for the Lycan. And this tower soon to fall to that Lycan. I'm going to use the fortify structures.
I absolutely loved that play by Dire. Really, really smart. They were pushed up too far. They had their item timings there. They're going to win a fight if they just pick off 1 or 2 cores there. They got the Razor. No mech. Mech came out, but still, like, just in a bad position to keep himself alive. Love that play.
And they also didn't have the Queen of Pain for that. Still trying to finish off that Aghanim Scepter. 600 gold away. Was just attacking the bottom tower.
Real issue with Quap still not TPing in with ult there, though. I think they might have been able to turn something around at least, but
in the end, it is the Dire taking a fight in the mid lane as well as that tier 1 tower. And Juggernaut with the drums hanging out here.
I'm glad the game has slowed down just a little bit. I mean, it's only 22 kills at 16 minutes, but I'm still glad it's slowed down. Only 22 kills. Yeah, lots of outers. You can definitely see that Dire's getting what they want done. They're going to be taking all the outers, and they have some pretty decent wards down. They're going to get some deeper ones soon, I think, and just start closing out the map a little bit.
Jakiro getting closer to a mech. He's about 600 gold away from it right now. Has picked up that headdress, has the buckler and the recipe. Smoke comes out from the Radiant, and the TP going to defend that mid lane is Abaddon. Smoke going towards the Dire jungle.
Oh, it's the Jack and the Smoke. The Jack's going mech. I didn't really expect that. I thought it was the Abba, but he went the Medallion instead.
Yep. Lycan gonna break the smoke a little bit. Here come the Radiant up to the high ground. H-God uses the Chronosphere. Queen of Pain blinks right into it, and now Lycan, he will go. Not get down just yet in the end. Gonna get the Aegis popped. The Chronosphere already spent on 1. And the Tusk in the middle of this. There comes a nice mechanism by the Razor. Lycan gonna have to sprint away. There's the pause.
I'd be so BM right now.
Alright, looks like the Jug was lagging out. And he is not even near this fight. 8 seconds left on the Omni Slash cooldown. Tusk is down already, and now here comes the Juggernaut in from the side, taking a lot of damage from the birds. Sonic Wave gonna do the damage, and now he has the Omni Slash. Omni Slash goes in onto H-God and the Queen of Pain. Queen blinking out, Lycan looking for the kills on the backside. Does take the supports down, but now Abaddon goes down, as has the Juggernaut. Lycan coming in from the backside. H-God putting the hurt onto him. Lycan will go down to the Razor in the end. Triple kill for Razor, as that's 4 down for the Dire in that fight.
Honestly, I think this is the most back and forth lower tier game I've seen in a while, so I'm really enjoying this. The fights are super sporadic. I feel like everyone's kind of really nervous, like they're not playing their best, like they're not really thinking about what they should be doing, but
there's also that pause helps to make the fight
yeah,
a little
you
bit
know
more
what?
sporadic.
Yeah, a little more there. Honestly, I'd be so tilted if that happened.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Honestly, it's so difficult for Jug to get the kills here. It's only that was a level 2 Omni Slash in that fight. But he just wasn't able to do enough damage to the Faceless Void, and it was shared with the Queen of Pain as well. And neither of them went down.
Yeah, and I'm not sure what's going on with Dire. Like, I think it's an issue because like Jug didn't. I'm pretty sure he didn't have TP for that fight, so he had to walk back. He just TP'd to mid lane to not have another TP for a fight if they get jumped. So huge issue with rotations coming out versus Radiant strong like push. And he's going Yash right now, so farming a little bit more.
Faceless Void farming some creeps in the jungle. A couple of Dire heroes close to him, he knows about it, and he's not really too worried about it. It's just the Jakiro and the Abaddon. So he's just going to continue to farm up here.
Looks like Lycan's going the Necro book just for a little more push, and honestly, like Johnny's doing a good job. Like he has a stupid amount of farm on that Jakiro right over there. They're completing the mech right now, it's heading out, so that's good so they can match up with the Razor. Fights are going to be a little bit more even.
Yeah, interestingly enough, though, the big pushing lineup of the Dire have only taken 2 towers so far.
Yeah, in all honesty, I don't know, like, Radiant's been having, like, if you look at the Radiant heroes, I mean, sans Quap earlier, like, everyone's carrying a TP on them, and you're still having some of these Dire heroes that don't have TP, especially the Jug. Like, your carry can't just sit back and farm all day. He has to TP in and help them fight, and they've been 2 engagements now where the carry has either been out of position or it just hasn't been there. So it's honestly kind of on his back right now.
Someone in the chat asking for us to talk about Dire's win condition. Well, basically, if the way Dire wins this match is you have to take down the Ancient of the Radiant team, and that's the Ancient right there. So that is how you're going to win this match.
Clearly. I'm not sure. Are you a League player? How much Dota have you played? But Dire's win condition, so it's Dire. They have good access to Roshan. They still haven't lost their bottom tier 2. Their goal probably is to get Necro 3 on Lycan. They really want to smoke and get a pick on one of the cores and try to deathball push down from that. You saw that worked earlier for mid tower, and that also worked earlier for bottom tower. Bottom tower is their best play so far out of the game, but that's gonna be their goal overall. Jug honestly is not where he needs to be in terms of farm. And that has a lot to do with not joining fights. Like carries this patch and the previous patch, like you have to TP in and try to just be there and stay alive even if you don't get a kill, and that's kind of set him back. Like the Razor and the Quap have just been kind of like split pushing AFK farming, and they're gonna really pull ahead here. So I think it's basically smoke into a pick with to get towers. Once they get outer towers, get wards down, get Roshan, and try to push high ground once you have dominance. It's kind of just like a pushing lineup overall. Both of them are kind of push lineups, but I think Dire's. I actually think Radiant maybe scales a little bit better late game because the Void lockdown's super good late game when all your heroes have a lot of items.
Well, the bottom tier 1 tower about to go down for the Dire, and the Dire themselves have smoked their own jungle. So they go in on that tier 1 tower as well, and we could have an engagement here as most of the Radiant have showed up. The tower about to go down does go down, and do the Dire disengage here. Juggernaut finds a double damage room, and they are going to TP out.
I'm honestly so surprised Dire did not push that to the tier 2 with the Lycan. I'm honestly so surprised with that. I think they need to make ballsy plays like that a little bit while the Quap's out of position at least.
Well, the Juggernaut goes down to clear that bottom tower, which the Queen of Pain was pushing, and now the Shapeshift going to be used by the Lycan. He's going to be kept alive by the Abaddon, and he's just going to run around like the dog he is.
Time is money.
I think one of Dire's problems too, I mean, like, Quap gets a BKB right now, like, she's kind of like untouchable in the sense that she can't be locked down. She can barely be locked down now. You have the Tusk and you have Ice Path. So unless she, like previously, blinks into 4 heroes, she's not going to die if she plays pretty smart. I think that's a major issue for them right now. And I love this bait mid by Radiant. I'm not sure if Dire's going to take it because they're all off the map. And Dire actually have super good wards in their jungle. So they probably actually saw the smoke depending on where it is.
I think they might have missed seeing the smoke. It seems like it probably would have been between the wards.
It's honestly good game sense by them though. Quap's pushed out pretty far. You don't see any other heroes, so.
Well, unfortunately, the mid-tier 2 tower, it can't back it up at all, and will eventually get taken down by the Radiant. So Visage going to take the last hit, and the Radiant, Roshan will respawn in about 30 seconds, and they could go for that. But they're going to have to wait a couple more moments.
I actually hate this Abaddon build right now. I really think Abaddon should have went for the mech. They should have taken less priority, like given more priority to Abaddon instead of the Jakiro. Just because I feel like I don't like, is he gonna go Solar Crest? Like, because Juggernaut already went drums. Like honestly, like Vlad's mech drums really good on Abaddon. Just keeps him tanky, keeps him in the fight, soaking damage. But like, he has 1200 HP and 14 armor, and like, oh, he went the Solar Crest here. I mean, they need it, and I think it'd be pretty good versus their lineup, or at least for them to take Roche quicker. Another pause comes out, but I really don't like the build at all. I think he's kind of a little useless right now.
Well, the Sword Crest could be good on that early game Void.
Yeah, I think it'll be good. Like it's basically the Void or the Razor, like the right click. Honestly, Void doesn't do that much damage in Chrono. Like, look at his, he went the Blink like I talked about earlier just for positioning, and I'm gonna expect him to go into the Ags. The 60-second Chrono is pretty legit.
Alright. Well, in the end, he still has that Solar Crest. Hopefully he's gonna use it sometime. Maybe effective. Maybe not.
I like it for Roche though. They're a Dire lineup, so it's gonna really help them out there. But you can see that the Radiant, the Visage went, he went Medallion, and he's going into Axe right now. They're gonna be stealing that Roche before the Dire has control. So
Vigil comes in, immediately gets taken care of by the Radiant. A bit easier to take care of that with the recent nerf to it, and the Roshan getting pretty low. The Wolf is in the middle of this, could try to get the steal. And now here come the Dire. Oh, nice Chrono Spear on the backside. Gonna keep 2 heroes out of it. The Roshan goes down on the other side. The Queen of Pain gonna take it. And now the Tusk in the middle of the pit. Punches out the Bane. Here's the Fiend's Grip onto the Tusk on the other side of the fight. Lots of damage taken off the Juggernaut. Still has that Omni Slash. Johnny about to go down. Will go down to the Soul Assumption. Razor trying to get out. He's going to burn down eventually. Lycan takes the kill with the Wolf. And now H-God in a little bit of trouble. Gonna use the Time Walk to get away. Shiki in trouble. Could get found out here. Won't. And the Dire still trying to look for those kills. H-God into the trees. Blinks down. And in the end, it's a 2 for 2.
not good, but not bad. I mean, I think Dire ended out a little like they're not happy that they lost Roche, but at least they got the Razor and the Visage from it, so it's a little bit of gold their way.
Yeah, they did get the gold advantage from that fight, and although they didn't take the Queen of Pain Aegis off, they did at least threaten her a little bit, I guess. So
yeah, they almost got her there. Not bad. Let's see what the Void. The Void's has a staff of wizardry, so it's either a Force Staff or Aghanim Scepter, but I'm assuming the Ags. And you can see Dire doing the smoke right away. They're wanting to get a pick and then transition that into a push, and I think Necro 3, yeah, it'll probably be off cooldown by the time they finish the fight, so.
alright, well, Dire laying in wait here. They could find the Void. Void doesn't have the Chrono Spear for another couple of seconds. Ice Path gonna miss, but the shards, okay, they're gonna do nothing. Juggernaut puts the slashes into the back. Here comes the Snowball. Will hit H-God. H-God, he uses the time dilation, and now the Dire have to back up.
Yeah, they're still gonna transition it, and this is a really good like TI5 like 6.85 era where well 6.4 6.5 smoke can't get the kill. Even if you get the kill, transition into a push. We'll see what's gonna happen in the fight here.
Dire's top tower is under
Bane with a short TP. Queen of Pain comes in, and Bane going to get right into that ice path. There's a Nightmare onto himself, going to get broken by that spin, and not Juggernaut in the middle of everything. Going to get being scripted up, and Razor is stealing all the damage. And he does get put into the snowball, but he does go down. Chrono Spear only on the Tusk and on the Razor. Tusk goes down, and now Johnny goes to the south. He's trying to TP out. He will get out, goes down to the Soul Assumption, even though the Soul Assumption continues to follow him. And, well, that is a 3 for 0. WuJie, they get the... Alright, the projectile went away, but they get the tower, but they lose the fight.
Yeah, not a good trade again. And in the chat too, another Pudge Smurf. No, I agree with that as well. I just think like there's going to be an issue with him scaling overall, right? Because Abba's going to scale better with items than Jack does, in my opinion. In my opinion, at least. Especially late game, like getting nags on him and stuff like that. Like I just thought the build wouldn't be that good for late game, but no, I fully agree. He's playing back and he's trying to save everyone in the chrono, but they're still losing fights, which is the issue. So
Large massive heroes pushing down that bottom lane, easily take that tier 2 tower, and they still have the Aegis on the Queen of Pain, so they can't continue to be aggressive if they want to. The Aegis will expire soon though. Queen of Pain went for an Octarine core.
they're greedy at him. I mean, she's tanky as hell though, so
Yeah, makes her a little bit more tanky. Gets through these fights a little bit easier.
probably BKB or Shiva's next.
And the Dire, they're actually pretty far behind right now. XP, a little bit more than 7,500 in favor of the Radiant, and same for net worth. And Queen of Pain leads the net worth chart.
And that gold graft is getting pretty high too, so
I mean, it is a pretty slow rise, but it is continuous, so. Queen of Pain screams at some creeps. Seems to be pretty angry.
like if you just look at this jug, like he is not where he's supposed to be. 8.6k gold, the void's ahead of him right now. Not doing much in fights, 3, 5, and 7. He needs to like pick up something to like to do something in fights. So
worthy tribute.
I don't know if he's gonna go Basher or something else right now. So we'll see.
Alright. Well, we're going to keep going with this match. We've got a couple heroes pushing down bottom for the Dire, and in the Dire jungle, Queen of Pain just throwing some daggers into the backs of the Tusk. And they drop down a ward in their own jungle. Just waiting for the next big engagement here. Bane gonna get some D wards in his own jungle. And here comes the Tusk Snowball. Easy blink away for the Queen of Pain. And now she could turn around, has the Aghanim Scepter Visage with her. And the Aegis was reclaimed, so she has regened up all of that mana. Here comes the Sonic Wave, blink in, scream, does so much damage to the Juggernaut. Nice ice path by the Jakiro, catching out too. And really, that stopped the engagement onto the Juggernaut from getting the kill. Now Juggernaut looking for some kills onto the birds. Not going to find it just yet. Ice Path not going to find anything. And the Radiant, they sound the tree, and they could get out. But do they want to? Bane waiting here. There's a TP in by the Faceless Void. He could get to the fight pretty quickly, and the Razor has shown up as well. Dire could get caught out here. And Kang gonna get Fiend scripted up even though he is spinning. Here comes the bird with the damage. Razor sucking off the damage from the Juggernaut as well. Here comes the Sonic Wave. Does some damage to the Abaddon. Abaddon trying to walk away. So is the Juggernaut. Here comes Age God. Age God time walks forward. Uses the time dilation onto the Abaddon and the Jakir. And now the Blood King coming in from the side. On the backside, Queen of Pain gets a couple kills. Faceless Void runs around the Chronosphere for a couple seconds. Only caught out the Abaddon with that one. Now they go for Johnny. Johnny gets a Soul Assumption, eventually goes down to the Razor, double kill for the Razor, and now Age God, Winning Sword, puts the time dilation onto the Abaddon. He's not going to get this borrowed time back for quite a while. And now the blink forward, going to catch him out with the bash, and Abaddon about to go down, slowed down. He does go down to the Faceless Void, killing spree for him. And you may as well feed in a Necro Book there as well. And I think the Visage took that. And the Visage didn't take too much damage. That works with the Gravekeeper's Cloak, right?
Pardon me?
Dire's top
The
tower has fallen.
Necro Book and the Gravekeeper's Cloak. Because Visage shouldn't take too much damage when he took it out.
No, it shouldn't be like too bad at all. I mean, it's gonna proc on that, but yeah.
Yeah, it procs on it, so it takes out a lot of the damage.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. Sorry, I'm just trying to think about like what Dire's gonna do to win this game. Because like you always gotta have faith, right?
I mean, not always. I mean,
Yeah,
when you're playing on US East and you've got 4 Peruvians on your team spamming ya on the chat, I mean...
I mean, the moment I see that, I
Dire's top
play
tower
Ember and
is
I just
under
get a
attack.
rapier. You just gotta go yellow when you see your teams like that. I think Radiant's super confident with, if you see the way they're doing, they don't mind. Dire's trying to take these fights and they're losing them, and Radiant's just sitting back and farming, and they don't mind taking it late. So I'm just trying to think, like, Dire's just so far behind in terms of cores. Like, Jug has nothing at 32 minutes in the game, and Lycan's kind of their carry now. He does have the AC though, which is going to help him out a bit, but they're really lacking lockdown from a lot of these heroes, like the Void or the Quap, which they just can't burst right away. And then you have the Razor frontlining, who's getting pretty big. I'm not sure what he's going to go next. He is 3k gold, maybe an AC of his own, but or Butterfly, I don't know. But I think Dire's win conditions are really kind of falling out soon, and you might see him go for a smoke play soon. At least for Roshan next time it's up.
Well, Dire doesn't have another smoke for about 3 minutes. And the Roshan will be up around then, so they could use it there. Well, we haven't visited the XP and Goldgrass for a while, so let's take a look at that. 15,000 for XTRMST. And the same for net worth. Queen of Pain looking for some pickoffs here. Could find the Lycan. Uses the Shiva's Guard. That's a lot of Lycan to get through, though. And Queen of Pain just going to blink out. And the rest of Radiant looking on that mid lane. Aphotic Shield Lycan running around without a care in the world. And, well, he's just going to go back to base, as are the rest of the Dire, waiting for that push to come in. And the Radiant, they're going to take control of pretty much every lane here. Just going to push them all in. Queen of Pain continues to slowly push out that top lane. And they can't do much against her right now. Looks like the Radiant are waiting for that Roshan to respawn. Going to be quite a while until that happens. And in terms of items,
you saw she went to She was there. She's probably like, I don't know what she goes next. She might like just refresher, like Hex probably. And you can see the Jug went all in with Blink A, like just because there are issues with just bursting the Quap or the Void or something before something goes on there, and the Blink is kind of all in. So.
Well, smoke on the high ground here for Dire. They're looking to see if they can do something here. They're going to use that Sigil to scout out. Birds are also here. A couple of Bane Illusions going to easily take care of it. Oh, there's a Juggernaut Omni Slash onto the Queen of Pain. Queen of Pain's still going to be able to blink out there. They don't have that control. And now the Corner Spear onto the spinning Juggernaut. Sonic Wave in the back. Fiend's Grip onto the Lycan. He's stuck there. He will end up going down. Monster Kill streak for the Queen of Pain. And the Lycan's out of this one. So is the Juggernaut. Brain Zap on the Jakira going to take him down as well. And now the Abaddon going to get that Borrow type procced. And H-God going to do the smacks onto him. Nightmare going to keep him there in the middle lane. Abaddon not long for this world. In fact, does go down. Double kill for the Razor, who is dominating. And now that middle tier 3 tower about to go down. That's 4 for 0. And the GG is going to get called. XTRMST Dota showing why they made it into the final in the first qualifier. And they're well on their way in the second one. Making it to the round. I think that was their round of 16 matchup. So I think that was their round of 16 matchup. So they're going to be into the quarterfinal. One match away from those best of 3s.
Good for them.
All right. Well, thank you to that guy for joining me. I'm Pythian once again. Thank you guys for joining me for that match. And we'll be coming right back at you with another one. And as always, cheers.